So, you missed our webinar on expanding your online presence, but not to worry, we got a quick recap with some really great animations for you. All right, so one thing we get asked all the time is what exactly is online presence? And frankly, it can mean a whole slew of different things. It can be more research focused, things like Google Scholar or ResearchGate. It can be more social media, more outreach focused, things like Twitter. Maybe you just want to communicate science facts about what you do. It can be anything in between. So, having an online presence means literally what would happen if someone Googled you, what types of things would show up. That's your online presence. And having an online presence can be really great for a number of reasons, but one especially is for networking. You can find people who do what you do, people to collaborate with, people to reach out to, people to work with. So it's really fantastic for networking. There are all sorts of different things that we're talking about when we say online presence. So, for example, maybe it's something like long form writing. So, maybe that's blogging. If you have your own blog or you want to guest blog, write a guest post for someone else. Maybe it's something like writing op eds or letters to the editor. These are opinion pieces or focus on certain issues or certain things that were written that you might have a thought on. Maybe someone will reach out to you and ask for a piece from you that's a some sort of a solicitation, whether that's on your science or some work that you do in outreach or communication. And also you can think about pitching different places. So there's the conversation. AGU has a news magazine called EOS where you can pitch them an idea of something that you might want to write about. Another example of online presence is, of course, social media. This is anything from Twitter to Tumblr, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. There's so many different types of social media out there. And actually, very recently, we did an entire webinar on it. So I encourage you to check it out if you're interested in social media more broadly. Another really important area to have some sort of an online presence in is a website, whether that's personal or your research group or the organization you work for, whatever it might be. But websites are really nice because they're kind of a clearinghouse for everything that you do. They can be a repository for whether it's your manuscripts, your research. It can be about the outreach that you've done, the ways that you've communicated, the media appearances that you've had. Basically, everything that you do related to science can be on a website. So, to recap, what is online presence? Well, it's so many different things, and it's basically everything about you that's on the internet. It can be really helpful for networking, places like LinkedIn and ResearchGate and even Twitter. You can do some long form writing, whether that's blogging, your own, or providing guest posts, maybe something like an op ed or a letter to the editor in your local newspaper or news magazine. Maybe folks will reach out to you to ask you to write a piece for whatever their publication might be. And then you can always pitch places. Like I said, the conversation, EOS, there's a whole slew of different outlets out there that you can write for. Of course, online presence is social media more broadly. We have a ton of resources on that. I encourage you to check them out if you haven't already. And then finally, websites. Like I said, these are kind of the repository for everything online, everything that you do. They're a really great place to house everything that you've done. All right, now you know what online presence is and why it matters. The next question is okay, so you have this online presence. Should you promote yourself? The short answer is yes. Self promotion is okay and it is encouraged. Getting your work out there, no matter whether that's your research, your outreach, whatever it might be, is really important and you should be your own best advocate. So once you figured out that yes, you should self promote, figure out what the best way to do that based on what you're talking about. Are you promoting outreach efforts that you've done that have really great images or videos? Is there an audio component to it? Do you really want to engage with different people in some sort of an online communication? Much like different outlets are going to be better for sharing your work, there's going to be different outlets and different types of mediums and media that are better for promoting yourself. And frankly, find people who are doing this well. There are a bunch of folks out there who are promoting their own work, and so you can learn from them. So, to recap, should you? The answer is a resounding yes. Please do it. It's really great. It can be really effective, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. Figure out the best way to do it. Do you have visuals or video or audio or whatever it might be? Find the best outlets for what you're trying to promote. This is going to be really, really important. Finally, if you're wondering how exactly to do this or where to look for folks who are self promoting already. And frankly, they might be from folks that you don't think of as being self promoters, and that's because they're doing it well. So you can learn by their example. Please be sure to join us for future webinars, and you can find archives of our previous webinars on our website and on our social media. You can find our website at agu.org/sharing science. You can follow us on Twitter. And if you're interested in being part of a community of folks who value science communication, outreach, policy, all of these things, please consider joining the Sharing Science community. It's free to join, open for anyone, and we'd love to see you there. So thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time.